Drawing things for complete strangers, but my parents will probably watch this, so I guess they're not our strangers completely. Bad art.
Yellow. Welcome to another episode of Bad Art, a video series where I draw some things and I talk some things. You can watch some things, you can listen to things. So, today is June 1st, if my calendar is right. And June's a very important month for video games and for dads. Couple weeks we got E3 getting ready to start, and then we got Father's Day a little after that. And then we're gonna cap off the month with good old Arkham Knight. Hopefully, if it does not get pushed. For those who don't know, E3 is just like a big expo for video games where all the developer or most of the developers and publishers get together and they have press conferences and they show you what they're going to be coming out with for the next couple of years. And yeah, that's pretty much, that's the general gist of it. And it's a really big deal for the gaming community, for the game industry and stuff. So kind of looking forward to that, kind of not, but I'll talk about that in the next video. Today I just want to talk about indie games mostly. I'm gonna go ahead and admit it right now. I kind of started out being really nervous about the whole like boom of indie games that have been coming out as of late in the new generation of consoles. And I mean, my main concern of it was it just kind of felt like that the industry had already come full circle. I mean, video games, they're not that old. What, they've been around for like maybe a few decades now. And I mean, that's not that long, and I just feel like we're kind of hitting that sweet spot now where we got the big AAA games, we got some mid-tier games, we got the indie titles coming and stuff like that. Now we got people coming out of their garage with their games, like these one-man developed games like Axiom Verge and Dust and Elysian Tale, stuff like that. And I mean, those games are good and all, but it's just when I think back to when the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 were first announced, it was like they had like a clip, like a little montage of indie games that they were going to have on the systems, but the bulk of the meetings was about like how powerful the systems were going to be and what developers were going to be able to accomplish on these systems. And lately it's just like the games that they've been like advertising or trying to show what the systems could do, they're getting delayed, which is not necessarily a bad thing because I don't want to play a broken game and I don't want it to be rushed. It's like, take your time. I have no problem with that. So if you got to delay a game to make it better, that's fine. When I get pissed off is when you commit to a date or a release for it where like you'll say it's coming out October 2014 and you end up having to delay it like an entire year almost, or for like half the year. And it's like, okay, well, obviously something bad happened. This had to have been something that this had to be something that you had known about for a while. So why would you make the commitment of saying it's coming out at this time and then wait like 2 months before release and be like, oh, we had to push it back and delay it because we had to like spruce some things up. You know what I mean? So that's what pisses me off. But it was just a lot of the games, like the big flashy games and stuff, were getting delayed. And when they got released, they'd have glitches and stuff would be wrong with the net code and the multiplayer wouldn't work right, what was some other stuff? I mean, even when games did come out, it seemed like they were so into the visual of the game that they really just kind of put the gameplay to the back burner, like stuff like The Order 1886. Like, I haven't played it, but that's what I've heard is one of the problems with the game. But I went through something similar with Infamous Second Son, where the game looks amazing, but it just kind of seemed a little lackluster when you compare it to the two infamous games that came out before it. It just kind of seems like they didn't put as much in the game as they did with the last couple games. And I know there's a whole thing of like, oh, well, you know, it's a new system. They got to like kind of work the kinks on stuff like that. And I get that, but still, it's just, I don't know. And it's not like I'm a graphics whore or anything like that. I'm not a graphics whore by any means, but just for years since I've been gaming, that's how the gaming industry has like molded me into knowing that we are into the next generation where, you know, they'll show you, you know, they can sit up on stage and tell you all these numbers of like, we got this processor and we got this much RAM and we got all these gigahertz pumping through and this and that. And it's like, it's going in one ear and out the other for me. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Like at the end of the day, I'm just looking at how this number is bigger on this system from the last system that you had. But what helps me is that you show a game and you're like, okay, like here's Mario on the Nintendo and here's Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. Notice how Sonic the Hedgehog has highlights. Like we have a lot more pixels that we can use to make highlights on Sonic, and you can actually see that he has eyeballs, whereas with Mario you can barely make out what he looks like. You know, like they've been doing that for years of showing us how much the games have progressed. And they did the same thing this time with the new systems, and lately they've just been coming out with indie title after indie title, which is like a side-scrolling game with like a little visual flair to it. And recently there's been like a whole rise of this pixel art style that everybody like is going back to with games like Shovel Knight, where it's like, it looks like I'm playing a Nintendo game again, but I'm on the PS4. And as much as I love Shovel Knight, it's just, I fail to see how this game couldn't run on a PS3. You know what I mean? So that's what just kind of gets my biscuits burning. But I've come around because, and one of the things that have helped me come around is that if it weren't for indie games in this generation, we'd be screwed right now. Because like I said earlier, I mean, the big games that you've been waiting for, the big flashy blockbuster games, the AAA games, those games are getting delayed. They're barely coming out. When they do, it's kind of a little underwhelming, and you know, or they're broken, or it's just they don't live up to the hype and stuff that you had for it. I mean, they look prettier, but the gameplay is very basic. And it's like indie games have stepped up where like they're taking the reins, where it's like, okay, you guys are having problems with developing on the new systems. That's fine. We'll take the reins and we'll like hold the fort down till you get your shit together, you know? So I appreciate that. And that's one of the things that mainly helped me come around to the idea of indie games coming to the forefront. I mean, not that I haven't been playing them, because I have been playing them. Like I said, I've played Shovel Knight, you know, I've played Republic. What were the other ones? Like Stealth Incorporated 1 and 2. Like, I've played those games, and I want to play the other games coming out too, but I also just want to really start getting to the games that take advantage of the system. And I mean, I think one of the things that really could help is coming out with some kind of a documentary. I mean, we're getting kind of close to it, where I think it was God of War 3, where they had some special features on the disc where they actually show people developing the game and kind of talking about the whole process of what it takes to develop it. Tomb Raider did that too. So I enjoy those kind of things like that. But if it's not out yet, I would really enjoy a legit documentary of some game developer that really explains like how this stuff works and what the process is, and you know, the development process is and stuff like that, and not just spitting out a whole bunch of words and numbers and stuff that go in one ear and out the other. Like, break it down in layman's terms for a person like me who doesn't fully understand the of what you're saying, you know. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Let's just get straight into the art. So this is a game that was recently announced that is currently in development. It's by one of the main guys behind it, who's who's behind the project, like the main top bill of the project, is a man named Koji Igarashi. You may know him from games like if you've ever played a Castlevania game like Symphony of the Night. That's like one of the most popular Castlevania games, or one of the most popular games ever made, pretty much. He was behind that game. I think he was like an assistant producer or something. He's a game designer, but he's also a producer. And he's done like pretty much every Castlevania game from Symphony of the Night all the way up to, oh man, what was it? It wasn't Eternal Darkness, but whatever the one was that came out on the Xbox 360 where it was like a mix of Aria of Sorrow and Symphony of the Night. I forgot what it was called, but he's been working on Castlevania games for a long time. Long story short. And one of those games was Harmony of Dissonance, which is my favorite Castlevania game. So I'm very excited for this game that he's working on currently. And it's called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And it is pretty much a Castlevania game, but it's going to play like a Metroidvania game, but it's a new franchise, hopefully. I mean, it's only the first game, but hopefully it does well enough to where it does become a franchise. I am excited for this game because this is a game where it's not like he's going and doing like a pixelated game again, at least as far as I know. He has gone on record to say that it's going to be 2.5D, and I hope that it looks something like the concept art that he has for it. And what the concept art looks like is it reminds me of the Blade Blue games. Those games are so beautiful. Like Blade Blue, Persona 4 Arena. Like if it looks like that, I will be very happy. I like that art style. It's very crisp. It's very like bright, vibrant colors. I love it. And I hope it ends up looking like that, because there's another game that's going to be coming out pretty soon called Mighty Number 9. And the concept art for that looked the same, where it looked like it was like this hand-drawn kind of cartoon. But then when you see the test footage for the game, it's like a 3D. It looks like Shadow Complex. It looks like a fully 3D game, but from a 2D perspective. And that looks cool, but I want this Bloodstained game to be more in line with the Blade Blue games, because like I said, I like the way that looks. I like that art style. And so, but it'll be a while before this game comes out. I mean, Mighty Number 9, I think comes out this year, but Bloodstained won't be out till like possibly 2017, so, and, Koji Igarashi is a former employee at Konami. He recently left to, do his own thing. And I mean, I really don't understand what is going on with Konami right now, but I hope they get their shit together, because they lost this guy and they're about to lose Kojima. And although I am very happy to see Kojima leave and do something new, I am just kind of worried about Konami and what's going to happen with that company, because, I like Konami games, I like Castlevania, I like Metal Gear, I like Silent Hill. I can't name any other games that they've done. I think it was Contra. I got ties to Contra. Like, me and my sister had beat Contra numerous times, so really good memories with Contra. So, Konami, I don't know what's going on, but, get it worked out, okay? And try to end things on amicable terms. I don't know if you left amicably with not Kojima, with Igarashi. I don't know what happened there, but I hope it was in good grounds. I hope no bridges were burned. But yeah, Igarashi went and started his own game development team, and he went on Kickstarter, and this is the game that he is kickstarting. For those who don't know, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding site where there's like numerous things that people are trying to get made. It's not just video games either, but the video games are what I pay attention to. And there have been good games that come out of Kickstarter, like Republic and Shovel Knight. Those are really good games. And, hopefully Mighty Number 9 is good. And this was a game where I really wanted to get involved with it. And I almost did. I was going to, like, if you pay $60, I think you get a physical copy of the game. So I was just like, well, I'm already going to buy this game when it comes out. Like, I might as well just give them $60 and call it a day. But what stopped me, for one, is that they only needed $500,000 to get it funded. And they reached that goal within like a few hours. And then by the end of the day, they were well past $1 million of funding. So by the time I got around to deciding whether I should fund it or not, they had already reached their goal. The game is getting made. It's still getting funded. Like the funds are still going up, and they're going to add more features to it. They're going to put on more systems, and that's great. But the other thing that stopped me from doing it is that even though good things come out of Kickstarter, I'm still not sold on funding stuff, just because I still kind of feel like there needs to be some kind of way to cut people in on the profits of the project. Like, they're taking a risk they're kind of taking a risk, because if the game or if the product reaches its goal, it's hopefully going to be made. But I mean, the creator, I guess, could just not do anything with it and take your money and be done with it because they reached their goal. But if it doesn't reach the goal, you get your money back. But let's say it reaches its goal, it's getting funded, and it gets made. It's like, you are responsible. You played a part in getting that made. And I just feel like you need to get something more than like, just like, hey, I made the game and, you helped with that. Thank you. And whatever the tier was that you paid, like, that's what you got. So I appreciate it. And I just feel like there needs to be more. So if there's ever a site or another crowdfunding thing that pops up where it's just like, hey, not only will you help fund this project, but if it goes through and whatever profits it makes, you get a cut of that depending on what you chipped in. That's when I'll start like getting involved with it. But I have yet to have a project come where I just like go balls deep in and like give them my money to help fund it. But I guarantee you, Mr. Igarashi-san, I will buy your game when it comes out. March 2017, if I am not sitting 6 feet underground or in the millions of pieces in the bottom of an urn, I will definitely buy your game when it comes out. And I will play it, and hopefully I will beat it. And yeah, and that's all I got to say about that. So that's what I ended up drawing, because I wanted to show my appreciation for his work. And this is my way of helping him out, because maybe there's people out there who don't have my same beliefs and want to chip a couple dollars in to his project. So I hope that this is in some way supporting him. I want to support this game. I want to support new franchises. I want to support, another developer coming in and seeing how male dominated the industry is, to where it's all the protagonist is always this burly male character walking around. It's like, let's get some girls in there, and she doesn't look slutty or anything. Her tits aren't hanging out and stuff like that. Like, she looks decent. She looks cool. And I like her weapons, and basically the drawing that I did was from one of the concept arts of the game, where she's like slashing her sword, and there's like this big dragon type power effect thing that's shooting out of the swipe of the sword. So I figured I would draw that, and there's another picture of her where she has like a little jousting lance, and I like the way that looked too. So I ended up like making that her weapon in this pic. You can also see the tattoos on her. Those aren't tattoos necessarily. Those are actually like stained glass pieces on her. Because I guess in the game, she's like inflicted with some kind of curse where like it's some kind of like stained glass curse where her body is slowly like crystallizing or turning into a stained glass kind of thing. And it kind of spreads out, I guess, as you progress through the game. And the whole point of her is going through this castle or wherever she is, some location to where she's trying to cure herself of that curse. And I thought that was really cool. And I do like the fact that it has like this kind of stained glass kind of feel to it, or overall art style to it, in the background. I I have a couple friends who do stained glass, and one of them actually made me a piece a long time ago of Spider-Man, which I cherish to this very day. And I really appreciate that art style. It's one of the many art styles that I cannot do. Like I don't think you'll ever see me working on a stained glass piece. I mean, we'll see, but I will not make any promises. But yeah. So I think that's about it. I think it's gonna about do it. If you are interested in this game, if you want to fund it, I mean, it's still going on right now. If you go to igavania.com, that's IGAVANIA. Yeah. If you go to igavania.com, you can go and chip in there. I think, like I said, they already reached their goal. They needed 500,000 and they're currently a little over 3 million. There's about like 40,000 people who have already backed the project. So it is getting made. That was the other thing too, is that like, this was just a testing ground, because he got some investors and they wanted to see if there was any interest in this game before they like fully invested in it. So this is kind of like proving to the investors that this is something that a lot of people want. So they're going to chip in for the rest of the amount to get the game made, because let's be honest, people, I mean, I don't know that much about game development, but I do know that I don't think 3 million is enough to make a full-fledged game like he's trying to do. And this is a 2.5D game. I mean, if you look at something like Grand Theft Auto 5, that game I think had a budget of 200 million. So yeah, think about that. But if you want to chip in, like I said, go to igavania.com, chip into the Kickstarter, and that's gonna be about it for me. Let me see. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, I still got this little contest going on that I'm trying to do where I've done over 10 episodes. So I'm asking people to either send me a direct message or some kind of tagged message on Twitter, on my Twitter or my Instagram. It's my Twitter is at the Chewels, TheeChewels. My Instagram is Chewvision, ChewWvision. Send me a video of you singing the intro song to Bad Art, any way you like, and I guess put a hashtag Bad Art Intro. I guess that could work so I can find it easier. And I'll go through it, and the best one will intro a show of Bad Art. And let's see, the deadline. What is this, episode 13? I'd say the next milestone for me will probably be episode 23. So maybe I could put you in on episode 23 to like intro that. I don't think I can pull a video and put it on there, but I can definitely get the audio and put that on there, and I'll have you intro an episode of Bad Art. But in order to win, you got to do it. So, it's just my way of kind of showing my appreciation for all the views out there, because I'm getting some views and I enjoy it. I enjoy people around the world looking at my artwork, and hopefully one day I'll get some critiques, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you want me to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you. Just putting it out there. Also, like, pick one of the pieces that I've done in the recent time past, and I will make a copy of it, get it sent out to you. You can have your own. So that sound cool? Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Been going on long enough. Been rambling too much. I appreciate you watching this and listening to it. Even if you just skip to the end and watch and see what the picture is that I drew. I know you people do that. I check the analytics. It's completely fine. I completely understand. These videos are anywhere from like 20 to 30 minutes, It's a big deal. It's a lot of time to be having you sitting there for that long to do it. But, I understand. But, okay, that's it. I'm gone for real. Peace out. That was bad, but it could have been worse. And I'm out.